Hello, hello, all my trail running chums. Welcome to the Tea and Trails podcast with your friends and mine, Edwina and Gary. It's amazing where our trailing feet will take us. I'm currently in Norway, sitting beside a waterfall, overlooking the town of Lomond and enjoying the views. Whatever you're doing today, wherever your adventurous feet take you, enjoy. Big shout out for my friends in North Norfolk trail runners and North Norfolk beach runners. What a joy it is. Take care everyone, enjoy the show.
Eastern Fells. Fairfield from gentle slope to scrambling play, o'er the sparkling Windermere fed by springs. Helvellyn memories to always stay, mountain might that tends fearful pain that stings. Glenridding Dodd, Sheffield Pike, Catsey Cam, Clough Head, Dollywagon, St Sunday Crag, Herdwick's rugged, sturdy and timid lamb, pastoral gentle mells with shroud of clag, weather that warms and tends and crashes with rain. There's no alive like mountain top in storm, fells that clear all our souls of every stain. My fine eastern fells that I'll miss and mourn, like my love I will return and treasure. These fells are companions without measure. We thought we'd start the podcast this week with that lovely poem from Richard Bulmer, who's currently bagging Wainwrights. Thank you, Richard. Absolutely loved that.
Maximum effort. Oh. What day is it? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday morning. Oh, my goodness me. I'm so tired for a Wednesday. Hello and welcome to episode 122 of the Tea and Trails podcast. And thanks for the intro, Rebecca. Thank you for your patience. You sent that in a while ago, all the way from Norway, and our listeners are awesome. I had these thoughts that maybe we should do an intro now and again, but then I forget when I'm on the trails, and I remember when I'm in the car.
Gary and Robbo, Old County Tops. What?
We thought we'd do it to the Tea and Trails Ultra Recce, and then as we were driving home, it was like, whoops. But yeah, not you guys. You nail it. Week after week after week. And please keep those intros coming. The cupboards are bulging, so yeah, they do filter through eventually. But yeah, please keep them coming. Email them to hello@teaandtrails.com. We're still on with the big hugs and kisses.
Still going with the over-inflammatory.
Mine would be, if somebody saw me on Saturday, it would be the sweatiest, grubbiest hug.
Are you more of like a hugger or a kisser? Like double cheek, one cheek? What's your like?
Not a kisser. Don't get
Not
kisses.
a kisser. No, just a straight in, double arms.
Well,
really
it probably took
tight
me.
in.
It probably took me till I was probably around 25 before I actually hugged people. I wasn't a body contact person.
No, you're all. Like my teenage boys. They're like, oh God, they go rigid, and I'm like, come on, in you come, and they're like, bye, mum. Bye, mum.
I remember when Lisa and I went backpacking, and I came home. It's the first time I'd seen my mum and dad for nearly a year, and I thought we'd be like straight in for a hug, but even then it was like this awkwardness of like zero body contact.
Okay, so if you see Gary, just slam him. Slam him in. Go on.
Straight in him out. Thanks to all our patrons and everyone who has joined Patreon over the last week. For the price of a cuppa, you can help keep the lights hot and the mics on and save big time on all your trail running essentials. Runderwear are our latest Patreon partner, added to the growing list of perks, and patrons can enjoy 15% off all orders over at runderwear.co.uk. They were my Old County Tops undies of choice. Kept everything nice. Also very grateful for the Factor 50 sun cream from Life Jacket Skin Protection. Maybe 5 minutes. Anybody who knows the Old County Tops route, you've probably got about 5 minutes of shade all day long. You're just getting roasted on the trails. No tender spots, and I did have some help just rubbing in that sun cream to all the little parts. I bet you did.
How many Patreons did you get at the start to go?
I couldn't.
just that bit lower. Oh, lower.
They're all legends now. And don't forget, if you want a snood or a bobble hat, then you need to add your address to Patreon. No address, no goodies.
No goodies. Thanks to X Miles, Precision Full Hydration, Harrier Trail Running, Phoenix Light UK and Protein Rebel for sponsoring this week's show. X Miles is a family-owned, independent endurance sports retailer that provides nutritional goods, apparel and accessories to help athletes perform and recover at their best. X Miles offers a wide range of high-quality products from leading brands, and their team of nutrition experts, cyclists, runners and outdoor enthusiasts can provide expert advice and guidance to help you reach your goals. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just getting started, X Miles is the perfect place to find everything you need to succeed. If you're listening now, they'll give you a little present, 10% off. Just head over there now. Stop what you're doing. www.xmiles.co.uk. Add a few little treats to that basket. Little 10% code via link in the show notes. Off we go.
The beta fuel, it worked well for me on Saturday. That was part of the fueling strategy, lots of other stuff going on. And it had something in it called Nootropics. Have you heard?
Yes.
Nootropic?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of it. So I did. I Googled it.
Okay.
If anybody hasn't heard of it, nootropics, often called smart drugs, are cognitive enhancers, are substances that may improve brain function, including memory, focus, creativity, and motivation.
Did you find all those things?
I was very creative on the fells.
Very creative.
Robbo was adding the motivation. Memory, focus. You know what? I was doing a bit of mental maths, so yeah, maybe it did work.
Because mental maths is hard when you're running. You lose the will, lose the ability to. There's
That's
12
the test,
miles.
isn't it?
There's 12 miles left, and I've got no. How many miles? I've forgotten how many miles. Gary, have you entered the Tea and Trails Ultra weekend? Have you actually entered?
Not yet.
No,
I've not entered.
Do you think we're going to get to the gate? Won't let us in, and then we'll have to call up Shane, and he'll come through, and he'll go, "Oh yeah, you're going to have to let you two in." Backhand
We're
though.
the talent.
Where's you? Oh, we're the talent. We're going to come in one of those big crew vans.
Oh,
blacked
yes.
out windows.
G-Wagon.
One of those big, you see occasionally on the motorway, those big coaches, the tour buses.
Oh, what would be your rider? If you were a celeb, what would you be riding?
Well, what do you think? Okay, see if you can guess what would be on my rider.
Oh, goodness me. What would be your... I should know this. Diet Coke, definitely.
Yep. Tick. What would be my other drink that would need to be there in...
cup of tea, yes. Sorry.
Cup of tea, good. So cup of tea, Diet Coke, and then as a snack, some sort of flapjack-based fruity goodness. My rider would be wild.
Oh, I love a bit of granola, yeah, like a granola bar.
Yeah, really nice, like an apricot-y moist one. And then probably an iPad with downloaded...
you've gone tech. I love it.
Yeah, I'd have an iPad with all the latest Made in Chelsea's downloaded on it. On your rider, there would be tea.
Yeah.
Some sort of... And then there'd be little bowls of minstrels, M&Ms, little
M&Ms.
snacky bits.
Yeah.
Snacky bits that you could be and then you go, well, I'd just have one. And then I'd find you a chocolate all around your mouth. Because you couldn't
I need them
stop.
portioned, yeah.
Lots of little snacks, and then probably a couple of girls that are there just to sort of massage your feet and stuff like that.
Oh, that sounds incredible. I would go for some old school Lucasade. There's a little treat if I needed a boost.
A little boost. The kids are always asking for Lucasade when they go to their sports things, and I've not jumped on that bandwagon.
I'd be pretty happy with that.
Okay. Right, well, I hope Shane's listening because that's what we expect on our coach. Okay, and also if you want to come and jump on board the tour bus, we're open to everybody.
Top bunk.
Head on over to www.tntrailsultra.com. It's shaping up to be a great weekend. I'm missing a lot of the kids' stuff that weekend.
Sometimes.
I am not in good books, but they won't remember.
It says his birthday. It says... They will. They'll be on some TV program in 20 years' time, traumatized.
Big Brother, I was traumatized by my mum missing my sports day.
It says his birthday too, so if that's any comfort, yeah.
That's much worse than sports day. But is she coming?
They are coming. They're not. There's no way I'd get Esme to camp in a field for a weekend. So they're going to stay in Keswick in an Airbnb.
Oh, nice. Don't you go back to that Airbnb. I'll be checking out on you 11 o'clock at night.
Maybe I'll be sneaking into Keswick.
We're very grateful to Yugoku Projects too for producing our amazing Tea and Trails cap. I put mine on backwards yesterday, Gary, to do my weights. I thought,
yes,
come on, and then I looked at myself in the mirror. I thought, I can't. People that can wear caps backwards, I can't carry that off. I look like some sort of strange...
It's a puzzle, Eddie. When I looked at the photographs for all county tops, everybody in bucket caps, everybody in caps looked incredible, apart from me.
What is it? We can't wear the cap, Gary. Yugoku has even designed our own ones.
I know.
But we're trying. If you'd like one, don't forget patrons can receive 20% off. Saw someone over on Facebook had been chasing you around on county tops with his cap on.
Yeah, sad times. I missed him. Ian Warrington from Achille Ratty, and Achille Ratty organised the Old County Tops. So he was there in the field in the Langdales with his Tea and Trails cap on. I can't believe I missed him. Sad times. Kudos though, Ian. We all know how tough that course is, and yeah, kudos to your partner Neil too for smashing smashing it on Saturday.
I know everyone wants the full deets of the race. So do I. I haven't really had the full deets. Just had a bit of whining. But we've got to wait, haven't we? We're going to have to wait a week for it to go up to really.
Yes.
But you know why you got to have to wait a week, listener? You're going to love this. Guess who's
Double
coming
treat.
back again? The legend, the inspiration,
The myth, the legend.
the legend Robbo is coming back on, and we're recording that a bit later this week. So we're going to hit all the deets of the race next week. Robbo was a very popular episode, wasn't he?
We don't have many people on twice, so Rob was probably going to be like our...
No, we're quite... Well, I'm very sure, like, if they come back on twice, there's a certain checklist they've got to go
I'll have anybody
through.
on.
We thought it was important, and Rob has very kindly agreed to come back on. So we'll look forward to diving into that. But how are you feeling? How did the week go up to the race?
Literally, if it worked once, I will do it again. So I had exactly the same prep as I did for London Marathon. So I did totally not specific whatsoever, but I did my marathon paced run, 2 miles on the treadmill, marathon pace, loads of mobility. I did one body weight session, and I got myself, such a sad case, I got myself to 100% on the core app. That was on Tuesday, so I knew how much percentage you lose every day. That would keep me a heat champ on Saturday. So I think I actually had an extra days off the heat training before all county tops compared to what I did for London. And I knew I wasn't too dehydrated or anything for London, so that all worked fine. I felt a lot of self-imposed pressure ahead of the old county tops. So what I did, it was interesting. We've had one of these questions come up with Brew, with the coaches, as far as around confidence. I love the numbers, Eddie, when they work in my favour. When the numbers are going wrong, you know, when you're trying to check your splits in a race and you just can't hold on to that speed anymore. Yeah, that's bad noise. We try to get rid of that as quick as possible. So I leaned on old results. I went back through all the times that we did all county tops. I do track heart rate and all that kind of stuff, just to reinforce to myself that this is not my first rodeo. I've done it before. If everything goes well, I can get to the end. We're going to get a finish. So I was just playing all these like confidence tricks. When it's like a solo pursuit, you can convince yourself and you can get over a lot of the anxiety. But when you're in a team, similar to cross country, well, it's slightly different to cross country because you do run your own individual race, but then the points accumulate at the end. But when two people together, you really have to show up on the day if you have aspirations of doing anything. A lot of nerves, question everything, but that clock, you'll know, and all our listeners will know, the clock just keeps ticking, and then race day.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
You just think, like, there's a point in the week where you think, okay, there's plenty of time. Then it's like, oh, this time tomorrow, or this. Then I go, well, this time tomorrow we're going to be climbing up Scarfell Pike. But before you know it, yeah, we are trying to chill out in the youth hostel in the Langdales. Absolutely beautiful night. And my memory from last year at the Langdales Youth Hostel, it was quite buzzy. A lot of people there, quite a nice atmosphere. Lots of all county tops races there, along with other people having adventures in the Lake District. I'm not too sure if it was because we got there a bit early or not, but it was a lot more chilled out compared to normal. But yeah, it's such a beautiful spot. If you've ever been to that youth hostel, it's absolutely incredible. Probably the worst night's sleep before a race ever. Some of the people in the room, Liam, he went to sleep within about 2 minutes, snoring away. I had my earplugs, so it was fine. He wasn't distracting me too much, but I just think it's absolutely incredible that you can rest before a race. I actually had a nightmare. When I woke up in the morning, I was really, really stressed out. I'm not going to share the details of the nightmare. It was the dark. I had probably 10 minutes of sleep all night. And I had the darkest 10 minutes in my life. I woke up really stressed out. It was pretty horrific. And that's it, really. I'll leave it there for now because we have booked in Robbo for our all county tops story next week. I do have to say thank you to everyone from start to finish. We had such a blast over there. All the people, all the organisation. But yeah, lots of love. Even previous guests, or Bridget, she did Cape Wrath Ultra. If you go back through the archive, you'll find that episode. So yeah, just a wonderful, wonderful time. And the weather, yeah, maybe a little bit too hot for running, but the weather was absolutely incredible. So I had a blast. Spoiler. Yeah, everything went well. TV side for the week, back over at
that's
Apple.
a change of pace. I was like, where's the TV in this race?
That's a hard pivot. I'm watching, there's quite a few series of this now. It's Charlie Borman and Hugh McGregor. They get on their motorbikes and drive around. It's like hairy bikers, but without the cooking. Very easy watching. But they go to Finland, so I'm super curious how they're going to spend their time over in Finland. But yeah, all in all, I'm feeling like my cup is full.
Your cup is full. I hope that you're having a quiet week this week. I haven't seen any running yet on Strava.
No running yet.
You're probably hiding it from me.
How's your week go?
Last week, I won. I won the week on Monday. And then it was a bit of a struggle streak for the West Week. So Debs and I, Debs Martin-Conson, if you don't know her, you will know her. Everybody knows Debs. We had, she's training for Western State. I'm training for Race Across Scotland. And she said, before a big race, I often do 3 laps of Ben Lomond because it gives you 10,000 feet of climbing. She was doing London Marathon before Western State. So she's got to turn those flat, fast legs into some hills. So we were like, let's just absolutely destroy them in one sitting. We had put this in the diary a long time ago, and actually we had planned to do it on the Saturday, not on the Monday. And then I saw that it was the Ben Lomond Hill race that Saturday. And I thought, that could be quite fun. We could cheer the guys going up and down or whatever. And she was like, no, what was that accent? I'm not going to try because she'll actually throw me out of her house if I try to do an accent. But she was like, no way, Eddie, that road will be a nightmare. Anyway, it ended up, it was great. So we moved it to the Monday. I checked I could go. She took the day off work. They actually closed the road because there were so many people on the Saturday. We arrived on Monday, got up super early, packed up my little tea flasks, going to meet Debs at the car park. And we were actually the second car in the car park. We aimed to start it at 7 o'clock. I think we did pretty well. I think we started like 7:07, no messing with Debs. We did 3 laps. I wasn't on my top form. I had a bit of a sore throat. The kids had like a really, like just a cold. It wasn't a particularly bad cold. They were still functioning, but they did have a cold. And my resting heart rate was 55, whereas normally it's like 41, 42.
Ooh,
so my ring
scary,
was like biometric. It was not happy. It was like, there are serious signs of stress. If I hadn't had my ring, if I hadn't listened to my ring, I wouldn't have known, really. I had this bit of sore throat, but I often get a sore throat when I'm a bit tired. But the fact my ring was like, your body is fighting something. So I felt all right, but I didn't feel like perky.
Did you check your HRV as well? How did that
My HRV is, it was a bit low, but it wasn't like danger low. But my resting heart rate was obviously like quite this bit higher. And my knee, Gary, is like probably about 4 years now. It's not been right. It's fine. It just hurts when I go over stiles. And when I descend off big steps, and of course, Ben Lomond descending is quite a lot of big steps down, and it's fine, but it's not really fine for 10,000 feet over 21 miles. So poor Debs, I think the third one, he was like going around me in circles, and I was like, sorry. For some reason, it didn't have a happy day. And I think lots of people relate to this. Like, I think it's my IT band. It's not actually my knee. Sometimes I don't even notice it. And then some days I'm like, oh, what are you doing? And I think as well, it's where I am in my menstrual cycle as well. Sometimes it can feel worse and other times. Anyway, it didn't have a very good day and I didn't feel that strong. Anyway, I'm just sandbagging. It was a great day. I would have liked to have felt a bit better and I would like to have not had a sore knee. Also, Gary, my feet have grown. So I reckon this is a perimenopause thing. It must be. So I put my Birkenstocks on that I've had for years and they come out, about May and I start wearing them. They don't fit anymore. My toes are out the end of them and my feet have gone wider. They're going over the size of them.
Is that even a thing? I've never heard of that.
Is this even a thing? I haven't Googled it. And someone will tell me it's a thing. So I had my Hoka Speed Goats on and my big toenails smashed into them so much by the last descent. The pain, Gary, and when I took them off, there's actually only 2 tiny little black bits in the corner of each of my big toe. I was like, how can this be so sore?
Is the toenail still going to stay on? Or
the toenail, well, my big toenails are my absolute, they just fall off. They just need to go. I just need to surgically have them removed.
I've got some Birkenstocks and I never wear them because everyone can see how smashed up my toes are.
Less. I love it. I love it. I want them all to look at how disgusting my toes are. And then when I was like, why is this suddenly happening to me? And then when I was when I was looking down at my Birkenstocks, I was like, oh my God, my feet are hanging over the side. This is, for God's sake, being a middle-aged woman. And Debs was like, you just need to get bigger shoes. Look, I'm absolutely fine. So I put my feet in my bigger shoes this week And I was like, oh, that is so much better. That is so much better. Oh my God. So now I'm like, I've got all these trainers. I need a half size bigger. What the hell is going on? Anyway, so we started off car park, one car in, off we go, choo-choo, chat, up Ben Lomond. Debs has done this hundreds of times. The poor people on that climb that day, we made so many friends because they would see us going up and then, oh, you guys are looking great, blah, blah, blah. Dogs, obviously, had to stop, talk, find out the name of the dog, the age, what's he like, what's his treats, what's the snack of choice. Debs would be like, come on. I'd be like, oh, we need to make friends with Jack. And then we'd see them again coming back down. They'd be like, oh, well done. And then we see them again going back up and they'd be like, oh, are you going up again? And these poor people that, like, obviously it's a massive climb. I think it's 7.5 miles and 1,000 meters basically each lap. So as a day out, that's a solid day out. And we would go past them and they'd be like, are you going up again? And it would be awkward because we'd think, well, you're going to see us again and then you're going to see us again.
Isn't it great we can do this?
Isn't it? And they were like, you girl, oh my God. Whereas I was just thinking, oh, my toenails, oh, my knee. Yeah. I wasn't thinking, this is so hard, this is such a long way, because it didn't actually feel that far or that much climbing, because we've been numbed. My brain has been numbed to be like, it's just a good solid old day, 7 hours, 8 hours in the hills. Anyway, we were so blessed with the weather and the wonderful people on the path it was lovely to make sort of like chums and have all that time, fueled like a whole sack. I'm going to call it a sack. Whole sack of flow gel, just every lap. Nice fueling laps, because I just did 2 bottles and some extra little bits, bit of dried mango, bit of sweets, water.
Dried mango, good shout.
Love a bit of dried mango. I had a sandwich for each turnaround. I had a packet of crisps. We went to a loyalty box and absolutely nailed a can of Coke. That was incredible. And on a Monday, there's something about it being on a Monday.
Well, where'd you go from that on a Monday? It's like the rest of the week.
Where'd you go for that? So we did that great. I sat down, I got my tea flask out at the end, sat down. I got my trainers off. I was like, oh my God, my feet. Oh my God, there's nothing to show for all that pain. We just stripped off in the car park. No shame. The car park absolutely bulging now. So many people. I sat down on the tent with my tea ready to have like a little, and Debs was like, come on, let's get in the car, let's get going.
I love a chill out.
I was like, no, chill out, Freddie. No. But what was amazing, within like an hour and a half, I was home. And that was like, what an adventure. As I pulled up, the kids went back from school. I was like, this is great. I can have a little sit down, and then literally pulled my car, and the other car came in, out they come. Oh, no rest. That evening, obviously I had been fighting some sort of viral thing. My ring went into overdrive. It gives you like a stress and restorative bit of your day. And like, if I do the podcast, it tells me I've had quite a stressful day.
Is it really?
It's obviously, yeah. If I do like lots of calls, it's been quite a high stress day. If I'm just sitting working, it says you've had loads of restorative time today. Anyway, but it doesn't want it when you're running. So it is quite a good indicator of like if you are ill. And it went into overdrive, and it was like you've had like basically it just kept logging, going more. Your body is fighting something.
Like judgy ring.
It was so judgy, but it was right judgy. I could not sleep, just like you, but this was the night after. I was like really hot and felt horrible. Definitely went downhill then for the next few days. Everything felt like hard work. I was so tired. I thought, I'll see how Tuesday goes. Possibly I'll take a rest day or just do a dog jog. Anyway, I was in a no fit state, Gary. I took a rest day just because I was actually like, just felt...
Listen to the whispers.
Yeah. So I took a rest day on Tuesday, and then I didn't do any heat training for the whole week, Gary. The resting heart rate didn't come really down until Sunday. And I thought you do not put more stress.
Are you okay with that though? Because the whole core app, it does
I'm absolutely fine with that. I'm absolutely fine.
Good.
I am not going to mess with my health. There is no way that you're going to find middle-aged women dead in fields peeled from heat training, now this Carl sign. So I thought, right, I'm just going to take a whole week off. And I also thought it'd be quite interesting to see what happens to my heat score. And then when I go back into it, like how that feels. So I took the whole week, and also really just thought I could just let my back heal a little bit as well. So I took the whole week off. I just did lots of jogging, and then I did sort of like, and I like doing this, if I don't feel great, but I feel all right, I will do like steady state running of like just that sort of middle-aged middle of zone 2 effort. So just move the legs a little bit. So I did a couple of sessions like that, did strength, but again, not like mega strength, just trying to tell the body that it was okay. I was still training, but it had a bit of extra energy.
That's what's good about the races we do, that yes, it is important to stress different energy systems, but the pace that we're running the event, if you were training for a 5K,
especially me,
then you'd be like pretty anxious. Yeah.
I just had to keep ticking over, and that was fine. And I was really happy that I could do a big day like that, and it really I didn't have any DOMs, so that was really, it's 21, 22 miles, 10,000 feet, didn't have any DOMs. I just obviously went into it a bit virally, and that took its hit for the rest of the week. Kids did their first athletics competition, Gary. Oh my goodness, this was an exciting time in the Sutton households, putting their
Do they do multiple
on.
Activities?
So they did do a bit of athletics in France, but they have not done it, not like, it's just a little bit different, I guess. And being the Sutton family, they had, of course, they were like, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that. We can do that. We can do the hurdles. We do the 100. One of them did the 100, the 200, the 800 meters, the long jump, and the hurdles. He was absolutely he was absolutely destroyed by the end. And we were sort of all watching. One of the parents said that he'd been sort of come over. I think he'd done the 800 and he'd come over, and the parents were sort of joking, going, "So you're going to go and do the hurdles now?" And we were sort of laughing because he'd never done the hurdles. And then suddenly at the start, I suddenly see him down at the hurdles, and I'm like, oh my God, are you going to he did great. But yeah, he was pretty ruined. And then we had middle child's birthday party. I thought the easiest option, Gary, rather than doing something, I thought, let's just have them all here for a bit of a sleepover. Oh, that is a bit more maintenance than. Anyway, we were blessed with the weather, and so they were pretty good, and they did just play outside. But it probably wasn't the end of the week when you've had a big week and you're a little bit ill to then go with a little bit more sleep deprivation of looking after a lot of people. But they all loved it.
As a kid, a sleepover is like top 10 activity.
Is it? Because I think it's a little bit of a cop out, rather, because like you basically get sleeping bags, come round, in you go.
Because everyone else's mum and dad are much cooler and nicer than yours. So they're on the best behaviour.
I'm not sure I get that. But because it's been such lovely weather, they just played cricket, they played football, they were so happy. They ate so many sweets. I went up into the bedroom, and like the sweet, I was like, where have all these sweets come from? The sweet bag, you'd be at the sleepover. Excellent. They were high on some sugar. Then we had to get everybody up and out. Oldest child had a big rugby tournament. Middle one had a football. They were pretty ruined from being Daley Thompson at the athletics. I was pretty rude. By 9 o'clock, we were up, out, everybody breakfast. I'd done 8 miles with the dogs. We were out. I was thinking, this is our God. So I took my fold-up chair to the football match, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to take I'm not going to be shameful about this, Gary. I'm going to be the old lady sitting watching her child playing sport today. I've never been so happy as today.
It's incredible foresight. I love it.
This is the future for watching sport. Why have I been standing on my rusty old legs watching sport? I'm not shameful. I'm going to sit with my folded up chair and my flask of tea. We got it done, got the match, got back home, and I thought, right, I'm going to finish, got one more strength session, one more run to do this week. I'll get home, I'll have a little sit down, Gary. I'll have a little sit down, and then
5 minutes.
I'll do it. Oh dear. So we got home about 3. Kids ruined. Can we watch something? Yeah, put it on, whatever. I lay down on the sofa and I slept through the whole of Mission Impossible.
You missed a treat. Great film.
Every time I woke up, there was some sort. Tom Cruise was doing something. He's pretty busy, I kept saying. What's he doing now?
Hanging off a plane.
Hanging off a plane on a motorbike. It's quite noisy, but it was a very good sleep. Woke up about 6. Ooh. Oh my God, that Sunday afternoon nap, that felt incredible. So God, what a busy week. It started so great, and it sort of was a bit but hell, it was done. It was full of love, full of activity. Couldn't really, blessed. #blessed. But my God, on Sunday I was exhausted, and now I'm just heading into another mega adventure. But it's all good. I love it. It's all good. The only sad thing is, I don't think this weather is it's going, Gary. I've seen the forecast.
There's a little turn.
And there's a little turn coming, and it's the Edinburgh Marathon this weekend. And
fingers crossed.
No, the wind is gonna. That's a tough one, isn't it? Because Edinburgh Marathon, it's a fast course. It's net downhill.
Not if it's windy.
But if you've got the wind, like London, the wind is never really talked about because you're not really exposed.
My memory of once you leave Edinburgh around that Musselburgh on the coast, if you're unlucky with the wind, sad time.
Shall I just tell you some core apps? So I didn't heat train all week and I lost 10% basically 10% of the heat adaptation, so I went down to about 88%, I think.
Okay, so it's not terrible.
It's not terrible, but then you just need to focus on getting it back up. I don't know if you do need to be a heat champion, and I'll tell you what, I felt it was hot on Ben Lomond. We were exposed just like Old County Tops. There's a bit of shade at the start and then you're out. I felt cooked on the last one coming down. I felt like I was quite hot, like just because you've been out in the sun all day, probably a bit like you. But I didn't feel hot when we were climbing. I didn't think I could feel that I was hot.
It's hard, isn't it?
Sweat, but I didn't feel like I'm too hot. I need to slow down. I need to drink. I did feel quite in control of the heat.
I think it does promote sweat, doesn't it? I think it does promote you to sweat early.
Yeah, but then I don't know. But I sweat the minute I get up, Gary. Anyway, I didn't say it, and I should just finish off with my week to say thanks so much. Debs is a machine. She's a legend, as we all know, and thanks for pushing me to go and do that with her. She was the best company. And
how far away is Western States?
It's June the 14th, 15th.
Wowzers, okay.
She's now just on her treadmill in her garage in a corset.
What a race to get a ticket to Western States.
Not many British runners heading over there. Really, such a hard race to get into. So, let's book her on the podcast. Let's book her on.
Thanks, Precision Fuel and Hydration, for supporting Brew. The coaches, their website and newsletter are such good source of knowledge, articles to read, and YouTube content to binge on too. On YouTube, you can learn how to fuel an ultramarathon, what pro runners carry on race day, and how to nail your marathon prep. That was my hydration part of my whole fueling strategy for Old County Tops, and I don't see any reason really to change it ahead of Swale Marathon and the Lakeland 100. Also, this week's guest, he uses the carb and electrolyte mix drink too, and it was a great shout, Eddie, to have a filter. Yeah, like you said, I was correct in thinking where I thought there would be water, there still was water, but it definitely was not as flowing as normal. And I remember what you said about there's been some warnings about, because the water's so low, that there's a higher risk of getting poorly. To my knowledge, Robbo hasn't texted me saying he's glued to the toilet or anything like that. But yeah, I could drink from streams with confidence having that filter. This week, our international friend and listener, Steve Taylor, has a question for our coaches. This week's question comes from Steve Taylor. I'm running a stage race for the first time in September, Transalpine Run, a total of 243 kilometres and 15,135 metres of vert over 7 days. I'm 61 and I've done many marathons and a few 50Ks. I'm following a novice training plan, but more or less self-coached like all the greats. Gary Thwaites, etc. Thanks, Steve. My goal is to complete the event and honour my mum's passing last summer. My specific question is, what tips would you offer me for recovery after each day? This sounds incredible. I will have daily access to chiro, physio and massages and plan to use that to the fullest. That's such a lovely thing to do, Steve, and I'm sure she will be looking down on you. Trish and Russell and myself have done stage races. Eddie, have you done it? I don't want to throw you under the bus.
Yes, Eddie has done many stage races too, but thanks.
Amateur Eddie.
Well, for me, we'll go
multiple
to Trish
wins at stage races, Gary. You always throw me on the bus going, yeah, well, neither of us wrestle for podiums.
Apologies, Eddie. Apologies. All right, yeah, heavy flex. I'll get my Old County Tops trophy back soon. Yeah, for me, it's all about the admin. when you get to the end of that day. And if you've got all that stuff at your disposal, then I would do all of it. But I'd be fascinated. Yeah, Trish and Russell and Eddie, we've all been fortunate that time is on our side. So for some people, you just don't really have time maybe to kind of use that time to the fullest. But assuming you have got the luxury of time, what would you do, Trish?
Well, firstly, that is a lovely thing to do, to remember your mum. I think that's a fantastic thing to do. And I think you should be super proud of that. The fact that you've got such great access to all of this stuff after is fantastic. But I would basically break it down into 3 things. The first thing is fuel. The priority is to fuel after each day and to fuel well. So you need to come in and straight away you need to be getting like something like a recovery shake or something like that. I'd pre-pack a recovery shake. I would have day bags, so you've got stuff that you need for each day. You've got 7 days worth of bags, so that you're in a position to just pick up that bag and you've got everything you need for that bag as soon as you come in. Priority 100% is to fuel as soon as you come in, and the best way to do that is generally a recovery shake followed by a decent meal. If you've got access to massage and stuff like that, 100% utilize that and get it done. Just be aware sometimes that can be quite painful. So if you're going to be doing 7 days of that, you might actually just not want a massage. But I would say just see how you feel about that and take advice from them. They'll, I imagine, have quite a bit of experience and have done that before. It fundamentally falls around 3 principles: fuel, admin, sleep. And that's all you need to be focused on for the entirety of that journey. Fuel, admin, sleep. Fuel every single time and opportunity you can, particularly when you come in. Admin, make sure you have your bags packed in a way that you have access to that daily bag each day and your general bag. So things, for example, that you're going to use on a regular basis, that's in a separate bag that you could just dip in and out of. Once your bag for that day is done, it can go and disappear and you don't need it anymore. And it makes your life a lot easier. And the third and the most important thing is sleep. The best recovery tool is sleep, 100%. So you really have to maximize that. You might want to go and socialize and chat and all the rest of it. You know, that's great and that's nice, but I would try your best to minimize that as much as possible in order to maximize your sleep. Top tip for sleeping: I don't know what the sleeping conditions are going to be like, but take earplugs, take an eye mask, make sure your sleep setup is honed, it's down to a T. So you've got a sleeping bag that you're comfortable with, a good sleeping mat that you've used and utilized before and isn't going to squeak and annoy you because you've never used it before. Tie down those 3 elements: fuel, admin, sleep, and it will go really well. And good luck. Sounds awesome. What a great time.
In the bag that followed me during the day, you kind of saw it at the checkpoint. And then at the end, that's the bag they gave you straight away. I had my recovery shake and my strong electrolyte drink in that bag. And that was pretty much the first thing I did as I crossed the line. Russell, what about you? Would you take an empty water bottle into the tent at night to cut down on your toilet trips?
Yeah. This is what you come here for. It's for the nitty gritty. And if you need a pee in the middle of the night and there's other 8 people in your tent, it's so much easier just to piss in the bottle and you're done and you're straight back to sleep. And we are.
Hope it's not your mate's water bottle.
It's yours and you get them mixed up.
Well, electrolytes must be off.
Salty.
It looks like for this race that you have actually nice accommodation. You have to book your own accommodation.
Oh wow!
Book it for you, but I think you're actually staying in a place where you can have a shower and bed and stuff as well.
You don't have to pee in a bottle.
You don't need to pee in a bottle.
Disappointing.
There's no peeing in the bottle.
Not helpful information. Okay. All right.
Russell's got nothing to offer now.
No, that was all I had. That was my magic trick. That was how come I came second in the Dragon race.
Looking at the race, the days are between. There's one day which is 9K with 1,000 meters. Woo, that's going to be a spicy one, isn't it? Wow. But the days are between like 30 and 40K with a couple of 1,000 meters worth of climbing. But the route does look quite technical as well. So I would say that you just need to be prepared for the days being quite long. even though on paper they probably look like they're not that long. I think that you need to be prepared that you don't get to the end of each day absolutely ruined because you've thought, that might take me like 5 or 6 hours, and actually it takes you about 10 to 12 hours. You're also going to be at altitude for quite a lot of time for this, Steve. So just thinking about the effects of altitude on the body as well, and working at altitude. So you're going to need to be really on top of your hydration. You're going to burn more calories. You're going to need to be on top of your electrolytes. The other thing is to have a look at the web page and to have a look and see if there are like drop bags, like really plan things like just going abroad. The way that races are run is different. And so I would have a really good plan and see if you can find this load. I mean, this is such a big popular race. There'll be so many YouTube videos out there of it and blogs and stuff, and see other people's experiences on the route, refueling, that sort of thing as well, doing a bit of background check.
You mentioned the other week, Eddie, I think, check results, so you get a good feel on what that actual stage is going to take somebody similar age.
Yeah, I think planning for this is like, because like things like Cape Wrath and Dragon's Back, it's like pretty much dialed in. There's been enough people that have done it. There's a recipe for those that is quite easy to follow, whereas races that we don't know about as much and not perhaps as popular over here. So yeah, I would go and have a look at the results, have a look at what other people have said to work out, so you can plan your fueling as well. And of course, then the refueling at points, if you don't like cheese and meat, you might find that it is a little bit tricky as well in the evenings to find things. Maybe a pizza will probably be in abundance as well. So it sounds like the most amazing adventure, Steve. And I think if you follow Trish's 3 rules for success, just generally in life, I think, then...
Breathe and believe. I just wanted to say before, I know this is going to be a pain in the ass comment, but you'll recover better if you're fitter. And that's just one of those really annoying things. Yeah, coach says. So make sure you're maximizing this time, Steve, because all the other stuff will be kind of skirting around the edges. If you've got a bigger, stronger heart, you're going to recover faster.
He says he's done lots of marathons and a few 50Ks. And I think with a race like this, the biggest thing you can do is actually focus on the hiking, because this race is either going to be uphill or downhill. Putting a backpack on and going out for long days, getting used to 8-10 hours on your feet rather than like running for 3 hours, getting used to that amount of time on your feet, and that with that climbing as well. We realised
when you said feet there, Eddie, was the other one I was going to write, that I wrote down that I was going to say, was just to get your shoes off if you can, like get into flip-flops and just allow your feet to breathe at the end of every day. I've seen a lot of success with that because your feet are going to take a pounding.
Maybe size up, actually. Have a spare pair of shoes for later on in the week.
Yeah, I was going to say that, Gary. With so much coming downhill as well, I would probably, if you haven't got the luxury of being able to have an extra pair of trainers, I saw lots of UTS comments about people with big toes being smashed into their trainers. Yeah. And it nearly always is that your trainers are too small. You can get away with it on the flat without any room in the toe box in front of your toe. And you can think your trainer fits, because it does kind of fit. But then the minute you need a little bit of movement in your shoe, then it's worth going a size up and just looking at the way that you lace it as well. Because if you do go a size up, then your ankle is going to slip in the shoe. So you need to look at lace locking your ankle as well.
One more thing as well. He says he's using a novice training plan. Make sure that novice training plan takes into account the vert, because it's really hard to replicate, the build up, that impact on the quads and the rest of the body, the tendons. You don't want to get a few days in and your legs are you've got really bad tendonitis and loads of issues because you haven't your body's not conditioned to that level of vert and descending as well. Descending is key. So you've got to train the body for that. It's got to be in the plan. Otherwise, you are going to really struggle. Once you get some kind of tendonitis or issues like that, it's really difficult to come back from.
I know Steve, he has got great access to the mountains, actually, where he lives, and he's out every day with his dogs. So I think he's been a listener for 4 years, I think. So yeah, he's definitely got a level of fitness.
Right, Steve, we expect daily updates, please, on Facebook. Yeah, pictures. Let us know how it goes. We'll be rooting for you. Have the best time. Thanks, Phoenix Light, for supporting this week's interview. The best design comes from the actual needs of users. Phoenix takes providing mobile lighting products with excellent performance as the goal and born for harsh environments as its mission. Never forget why you started, and your mission can be accomplished. Don't forget, patrons can enjoy 10% off over at www.phoenixlight.co.uk. And just for listening, just for putting up with us, we say thank you. Pop over to our webpage, www.tntrails.com, and you can find a 5% code off if you're thinking about buying a head torch. This week, we chat with Callum Pritchard after his smoking fast course record run at the Hobo Pace Dukeries 40. A lovely chat, lovely guy. We sort of go off on a few tangents, Eddie particularly, as ever. But lovely to hear all about his journey, how he trains, and I think you'll enjoy the chat with Callum as much as we did.
Oh, I like your heavy flex shelf behind you there over your right shoulder. It's pretty impressive.
Oh, those old things. Oh, how did those get there?
Yeah, I think I need another shelf, but I think it's mainly because my little boy started doing stuff now. So,
oh, excellent.
Yeah.
How old is he?
Got a lot of those football medals.
Yeah, he's 5, and as soon as he got his first medal from like a 1K race, he was like so excited to put it up there.
Yeah,
bless him, right at the front and centre.
Definitely. Yeah. So, Eddie, you'll have got some of those trophies, wouldn't you? Probably behind your shoulder too. You've got one of. Oh, what's that little thing?
Oh, those old things.
I noticed that.
Just
yeah, I know that
one. I overdone it this week, Callum. I set a far too high a goal on Monday, and I have peaked with a 10,000-foot climb.
Okay.
On Monday.
On a Monday.
On a Monday.
Sounds like a good Monday.
It was such a good Monday, but I got so sunburned, and yesterday I could not walk. But it was great. And so I feel like this week is the longest week ever, because you normally just do that at the weekend, don't you?
Yeah, it's a weekend job.
And then I'm like, oh, I've ruined the week and I've ruined myself. And because I had so much sugar as well. It was like a race.
Do you ever do the heat training, Callum? Eddie and I have totally invested in trying to get heat adapted for a potential hot race that may or may not happen. What about yourself? Do you do anything like that?
I've never done it before, but I've just figured out that the gym next to me has a sauna. So I'm going to start doing that over the next couple of weeks in prep for the British Champs at the end of the month, just in case it's hot in the day. Do you recommend it?
Yeah, well,
definitely.
We both rate it. Whether it's whether it's for everybody, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do a little AI intro. Correct me if it's wrong. It's probably out. It is a little bit out of date.
There's definitely one bit that's wrong.
Oh, okay
maybe.
then.
Anyway,
Call us out.
I'll wait till you read it. Yeah.
Callum Pritchard is a trail and ultra distance runner from the UK, known for his strong performances in endurance events. He has competed in races like the Country to Capital Ultra, the Centurion Thames Path 100, and the Manchester to Liverpool Ultra, often finishing at the top of the leaderboard. Recently, he placed second in the 100 Hills 50k, a race featuring over 4,000 feet of climbing in the Chilterns. His race strategy involved pushing hard on the climbs and descents while managing competition from elite runners like Joseph Turner, who ultimately took the win. Pritchard has also competed in track ultras, including a 24-hour race at Battersea Park, where he covered 81.2 miles. His versatility across different terrains and distances make him a standout in the UK ultra running scene. Well, definitely ChatGTP needs some updating, and I thought it was a little bit mean actually mentioning Joseph in your intro. And also there's no mention of you being part of the Harrier Pro Trail team and your recent winning course record at the Dukeries 40 miler. But apart from that, how did it do?
Yeah, it sounds all right. I think it's got in there about, I did a 24-hour track run and only did like 50 miles or something, which doesn't sound great. I'd probably take that out. I think I did like 6 hours and my hips started to play up. I didn't fancy another 18 hours, so I just called it a day.
I think those track runs, we do kind of labour on the elevation and stuff like that, the conditions and what's going on underfoot, but that 24-hour on a track, just that complete repetitiveness. Have you ever done one, Eddie?
Probably the flattest lap was when I did Anglo Celtic Plate, and that was a mile laps it had a little bit of undulation. And I did contemplate doing lap races, didn't I? But I just think mentally I've got to go somewhere else now. Have you had another go at it, Callum?
No.
Would you have another go at it?
I would, but I'm more focused on the shorter distance, faster stuff at the minute. I want to do the ACP next year, though.
Do it. It's a good race.
Do it. I saw it was an interesting prize at the Dukeries 40. They give you a hip flask.
Yeah.
Is that something you'd use, or does it just go on the shelf?
Probably not. I've got a few. I think we've got 3 or 4 of them now. My little boy calls it a water bottle, and he uses it.
Does he take it to school?
No,
His teacher's going.
I should actually give him that to take to school just to see what remarks he gets. He puts his juice in it, though. He thinks it's brilliant.
Oh, excellent. You'll have social services coming around.
Wait till he's a teenager. He'll be going, just got the juice in the hip flask, Dad.
Times have changed, though. I've been watching, is it the Yellowstone origin story, the blanking on the year. Seems
Something
like
23, is it?
Yeah, everyone carries a hip flask in those days. It's times
Good
have
old
changed.
days.
Good old days. Dukeries 40 though, that was an incredible run. But you do have the champs coming up. Was it straight back to training on Monday?
Pretty much straight back to training. I think I did an 8.5 miler with some of the lads from the club the day after, and then back to a speed session on Tuesday at the club. So straight back in, really.
Gary was going deep into all your splits on that race, going, look how fast he is, Eddie. He's so fast.
Yeah.
That is not what I said.
I did have a message from Gary House, who's a team manager for Harrier Trail Running. He said to me on Wednesday, take tomorrow off and just think about recovery. So I did get an enforced day off.
It was smoking fast, wasn't it? I think the average pace, not that I've checked, was 6:39 or 6:36. So
around that.
If people want to compare it to something that is comfortably under a sub 3 hour marathon, that's a kind of good barometer of where somebody's at. So to do 40 miles on the trails at that pace, that is a heavy flex, Callum.
Did you have the carbon shoes on?
I had the trail carbon shoes, the Adidas Terex Trail Ultra.
Oh yes,
you like
popular.
those?
Yeah, that's the first time I unboxed them on the Friday. I did. I know you should do it, but it was more of a training race, to be honest, ahead of the British champs. I was hoping that they'd arrived earlier in the week, but they didn't. So I was in the house doing little zoomies up and down with them on.
They feel great though, and I guess it's not a technical course,
no.
They're the perfect shoe for it. And they're would they be your shoe of choice for the Ridgeway as well? Yeah, they will be. A really runnable trail, the Ridgeway, but there are sections of climbs and really can be quite rocky underfoot. It's not technical, but I wouldn't be comfortable doing road shoes. It's those ridges, isn't it, that where the tractors and bikes and other people have it just be it's going to be as dry as a bone though, isn't it? Yeah, it's just going to be fast. Anyway, we've got to digress with the trainer chat, but welcome to Team Trails podcast. We ask all our guests this: where are you, what's the view from your window, and have you been for a run today? So I'm in Derby. I'm in northwest London. I'm from Derby. I've not been for a run today. I'm going straight out after this. Yeah, okay. We'll make it quick. What's on the menu today for the run? An easy 10 miles on trail. Easy 10 miles on trail. I did a session last night at the track, so it's just an easy 10 mile with one of the dogs. So what would be your local trails? Yeah, North London to me, it doesn't sound like not. When I say trails, don't think Brecon Beacons or Snowdonia. It's the playing fields, which are joined by wood blocks, really. It's amazing as trail runners, though, when we're in towns that you can put bits together, can't you? Of actually, you can run quite a bit on trail. People talk about the green belt around London as well, and there is a green belt, but it's all golf courses. But you can actually run through the golf courses, which a lot of golfers don't like. There's paths through, and you just do it anyway. I just do it anyway. And I just turn my music up. The other day I got shouted at because there's a great path that leads to more hills, but you have to go through the middle. But it's like a footpath through the middle of the golf course. And this woman was like, can you move over, please? They're trying to hit the ball up I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, they're not just taking pot shots at you. I was just like, you've now stopped me. I'd have gone. And I looked back and there were these 3 old deers and I was like, I don't think they're going to hit me. They're right down there. And they don't like it. Golfers and golfers but the golf courses are sometimes the most sensational running as well.
It's just every green around here, around London, they're all golf courses. There's so many, not many fields.
We should start take the golf courses back.
Take them back.
Take them back. So what does a typical day look like for you, Callum? Do you have a pretty structured training schedule? Do you have a coach?
So I work full time as an engineer, and I'm doing a master's as well. And I've got a 5-year-old and another little boy on the way. So training can be difficult to fit in, as you can imagine. We all have our issues with that. So typically I'll get up early before anyone else in the house. I'll go out for a run. And then in the evening as well, either straight after work, before finishing work and picking the little boy up, or when the little boy's gone to bed, I'll do my second run of the day. Typically I am a 2-run a day kind of guy. So instead of doing a 15 miler, I do 7 in the morning, 8 at night maybe, just because I find it works better for myself on a normal day.
I do a lot of double days too, because I find it easier on the body to break it down into smaller, but also mentally, I don't have a problem getting out for 5-6 miles, but if I have to go out for like 12, I'm like, no.
I say that to a lot of people. It's like, when you're trying to get in like 90 to 100 miles a week, you've got to be doing 12 to 15 miles a day. And exactly the same. I don't want to wake up at 5:30 or 6 in the morning and go out for a 15 miler in the rain.
Because also the fueling then, like I can go out for like an hour and just have, if I need something little, whereas if I've got 15 miles to do, that I'd need to take at least 12 gels.
It's so much easier to get the volume when you do the doubles. I'm curious though, you say you run with your run club, you train for the trails. Is your run club kind of trail based, or are they like road athletes?
No, not at all, to be honest. Hillingdon Athletics Club is a club with quite a rich history of putting out Olympians and European athletes games for over the years, and it's road-based, track-based stuff, but there's not many trails around here. I'll do the training with them, and I find a lot of speed and fitness has come from that, but then I will also do a lot of treadmill sessions and get on the trail when I can.
I used to do a lot of triathlons at Hillingdon. Is there a bike circuit there?
Yeah, there is. I've not done it myself, but quite a few the guys at the club have done it. It's like a closed circuit, isn't it?
I think it's like a 5K closed circuit. I seem to remember I've lost some eyeballs and blood on that course.
It's quite a popular course, I think. I've not done it myself.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, you should get stuck into it, because they must do running races. We used to I think we did duathlons there a lot in the winter. I still remember the Hillingdon Tri. They had like blue suits. We digress. So have you always been into running, Callum? Is this something that you've done?
I always knew through school I was going to join the Royal Marines in secondary school to follow in the footsteps of family members before me. So I made a conscious effort when I was at school to go running before school.
How old were you when you made this effort to go running before school?
I started when I was around 13 to 14. I'd just go running before school.
Wow. Running was a punishment for me back then, Callum.
There was never any training. I was never part of a club then. I didn't know what I was doing, but I'd make a conscious effort to go out running, to train, to join the Royal Marines, and eventually did that when I was 19.
And then going through the Marines, was your running was that your strength?
I'd say so, but it wasn't my main focus. So typically when I went through the Marines and before I left during COVID, I'd be weighing about 90 kilograms. I'd be more interested in my bench press and my deadlift, to be honest, but I would still run a few times a week. And occasionally I'd do like the Dukeries I did a few weeks ago. I did that a few times when I was in the Marines. I probably train twice a week for it and just run up and do whatever I can.
And would you be good though when you're in the Marines and you were going out on a big day out doing lots of miles? Would you be at the front of the pack?
Compared to most Marines, that's just because they're absolutely massive, most of them, and I was quite a bit smaller. But I wasn't to the level I am now. I've lost a lot of weight, and just now I'm more. Instead of doing 2 sessions a day in the gym, I'm doing 2 days running, 2 times a day running. So,
what is the fitness work in the Marines? Is it all like weight-based, circuit sort of based stuff?
To actually get in the Marines and pass all the training, the pass rate's pretty low. I think I started with about 60 people that started training. By the end of the 32 weeks, there was maybe 9 of us left who originally started. So the pass rate's pretty low. There is a lot of fitness tests. There's the mental side to it as well. well, which a lot of people struggle with. People think Marines are, I've got to be absolutely massive, big bodybuilder, but it's the complete opposite. So a lot of the tests I'd be at the front with some of the guys. It'd be those skinny guys at the front of all the tests, all those runners, compared to the guys who turn up to training thinking I've got to be big and strong, really good gym work and stuff like that. And all of a sudden they're doing endurance-based stuff where it's a lot of running, carrying kit. So yeah, it's more endurance-based stuff. But once you finish training and you're in, they can't really boot you out then. So most people just do what we call op massive. So they're just
what's that?
Operation
don't
Massive.
Tell my teenagers this thing.
It's just go to the gym twice a day and just get absolutely massive.
Wow.
I never really did that compared to most people, but I still kept a bit of running in there.
Okay. Do you go to the gym now as part of your routine?
Yeah, I've still carried that on. I'm not as much as before, but I'll still try and do, say, 3 hours a week.
Nice. What's your routine? Asking for a friend.
Now it's normally legs twice a week, and then I'll do like about 30-40 minutes of upper body a week just to somewhat maintain, which probably used to be about 2 hours a day upper body. But yeah, yes, we're quite fortunate where at the Hillingdon AC running club, at the clubhouse, we've got a gym there. It's nothing high tech, but we can go there any day we want. So I'll meet up with some of the lads there who I train with in our group, and we'll just make a conscious effort to do strength training.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's priceless, that sort of.
Yeah.
It makes it easier if you've got a WhatsApp group of lads going, are we doing legs tonight? Or every Wednesday and weekend?
Oh, that's my dream, Callum.
We'll be there Friday nights. Absolute rock stars, like doing a leg session at like 9 o'clock on a Friday night.
Oh, Gary's going to be moving down there. He's going to say,
Hillingdon,
Lisa, I think Hillingdon is the place.
I used to live near there. I'm sure it's familiar. I don't know why I remember Hillingdon. I used to live in Harpenden. Is it a million miles? It's not a million miles away from Harpenden, is it?
Where's that?
Bit further north, like Luton, St Albans.
Oh, okay, yeah. A little bit out of the way.
Is there a hospital? Is it Hillingdon Heart Hospital? I've been there for some reason.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I remember it. Okie dokie.
When you see, Callum, people talking about carrying weight in their rucksacks, having been a Marine now, like especially when it's all about the spine and people are like, the bag's too heavy. Are you like, you guys, you must put on your backpack for races and be like, this ridiculous. Is the dream.
Yeah, it's so much better now because when you're on exercise, it'd be a case of your backpack your Bergen could weigh 150 pounds.
So what's that in kilograms? That's like double. That's like
heavier than me.
Yeah, that's
50 kilograms?
60. 55, 60.
You're carrying Gary on your shoulders.
Yeah, then you've got your rifle, your weapon, and you just
boots.
Yeah, going around Brecon Beacons and places like that for days and days.
I don't like carrying 2 soft flasks. Yeah, this is crazy.
Going from that to a soft flask, it's a bit better.
I've got to take a thermal layer. This is going to ruin my wrist. Have you got any injuries coming out of that from doing that sort of weight bearing?
My back's always pretty knackered. So I have to do a lot of almost like rehab all the time to mitigate that. But there's stereotypically like my grandfather's an ex-Marine and my uncle, my old man was ex-army. There's a big thing of ex-military of just your knees and back's just knackered from the weight, just from carrying the weight.
I was talking to my husband about it the other day going, why don't they make it better? Like, why do they just ruin people just because that's the way it's always been done?
Yeah.
And he was just like, that's the way it's been done.
Pretty much.
Do you not have trainers though? If you go for a run, this sounds like a really stupid question. Are you like, do you have to run in the boots or can you have some kind of technical footwear?
So when you're in service, if you're going for a training run with your mates or something like that, you wear whatever you want. But you do a lot of stuff in military kit. So you train as you want to fight.
I like that saying. I had that at the end of the podcast. Train as you want to fight. For me, really slow eating sweets.
I guess it's the same like in ultra running. We all go out for training with all of our kit on. You don't want to rock up to a race and realise that it all jingles about and it rubs everywhere and stuff like that.
I think lots of people do. They rock up like UTMB. The kit list is it is quite heavy. If they like say you need your cold weather kit, people haven't trained in it and you put it on your back and you're like, actually, this is really quite heavy.
There's always that tin cup flapping around, isn't there?
Yeah. Oh, the person that has the tin cup.
Oh, it drives me crazy.
Yeah. It used to be like the Marines as well. If everyone jiggles their own kit about and make sure it's not going to irritate all your mates. And
otherwise,
there's always someone
in the bush. That's it. You're not coming with us.
I kind of like, if I've got change in my pocket, it really triggers me. So the thought of having a 100-miler or something, you've got this cup banging around for hours and hours and hours. Should we move on to the Dukeries 40?
Yes. Sorry, Callum. We went deep into
it.
You mentioned before you've done it a few times. What is it about that race?
So to be honest, I did it quite a few times when I was serving because it's a local race. I'm from Derby. So I've not lived in Derby for years now because I was in the Marines and my partner's in the Navy now. So we live away still. It's a race where I can call on friends and family from back home to come and crew me because it's a local for them. And also it's a pretty flat, nice trails. So the reason I went back there and did it again recently was just because it's a good event. The purpose was to trial out a load of new nutrition and go for like a high carb strategy. If I can do that in a quite controlled environment where I've got a lot of support from friends and family who live locally, then it's made sense.
It's very trendy.
Talk us through it.
The high carb. Yeah, what's your numbers? What's the dates?
I think it was about 135 grams, 130 to 135 grams I was hitting.
And no, because you were moving at quite a good pace and it's warm at the moment. Any GI issues with that?
No, nothing. No. I've been starting to introduce it a bit more in the last few months. I'm not a really experienced runner. I'm not going to lie and pretend I am. I learn a lot and I'm not afraid to ask people questions. Been seeing a trend with it all. So I thought I don't want to do it just on race day at the British Champs end of this month. I want to try it out and been doing a little bit more in training recently.
When I've had in the past, I've had like GI issues. That 4 hour, maybe 6 hour period in a race, you were finished long before that. For the Champs though, what kind of time do you think you're going to be on your feet?
I think Dan Lawson's got the record for the Ridgeway in 12 hours 6 minutes.
Okay.
And we all know he's a pretty good runner. He said that in, I think 10 years ago he said that. I would be lying if I say I wouldn't want to try and do that. I've got no shame if going big and DNFing. But, I'm not afraid of that. But I'd like to aim around that time. So it's going to be a lot more than 4 hours. 4.5 hours at the Dukeries. I think 4 hours 28 I finished in. But it gets to a point where how do you try that out for more hours without risking injury?
It. Yeah, how do you do like an enormous day out to try it out without the fatigue of potentially ruining a week's training or injury? Yeah, it's fascinating.
That's it, yeah. So there is a lot of risk there, isn't there?
Yeah, there's no risk. You're fine. Especially if you get the 5 or 6 hours, if you get all that carbon, if it all starts coming back up again, you've banked a load of carbs.
I've heard that, isn't it? You front load it while you can take it because later on...
Take it all down. I'm always about... And then I run another 100 hours with nothing. What was your carb? How are you getting all that carb in? What was your fuel of choice?
It's the Science of Sport, the beta fuel.
Oh.
Do you know what? This is coming up more and more on our radar. Everybody's I've not tried. Did you say you ordered some this week, Gary?
Incoming.
The Beta SIS, the 40 gram gels.
To be honest, it's coming down to price for me. I can get them £1.40 a gel, whereas you look at some stuff like Morton. Some of my mates are paying like £4 a gel, and to be honest, I can't afford that. I justify it for training. I was looking around every 20 to 30 minutes. I'd have a gel. I'd have a gel start line as well, and then I'd have Precision Hydration, the 1,000 milligram mix.
I love that.
Probably every hour or so, just to keep the electrolytes topped up and a bit more carb in the system as well. And that it worked out. The odd banana, I think I was running. It worked out about just over 130 grams an hour. It felt pretty comfortable, and that's the first time I've done that distance, that kind of speed, and finished. And the legs were completely fine. The stomach was fine. I had quite a lot of energy. So it was a good confidence boost there. I could have kept going at that pace.
It's amazing the difference you feel, isn't it? Like just that. It's almost, it's like having a cup of coffee in the morning. The difference between like pre-cup of coffee or cup of tea and afterwards. That like if you fuel and you fuel all the way to the end and you finish, you go, I didn't have that terrible face myself life moment when you go, what the hell am I doing here? Because the brain is just fueled the whole way through.
It makes sense as well when you think about it, doesn't it? And just to finish, like say 40 mile, it was like a training race, and to trial that and get to the end and feel completely fine. That I could have gone more further. I'm putting that down to definitely the nutrition is a massive part.
And what kind of effort? I'm curious because for me, 6:39, that is screaming, and I think I would bring on GI distress because of just the effort that I'm running. Well, I think that's quite common, isn't it? People on race day, they get a bit excited, they overcook themselves, and then the tummy's all in a mess. They try and eat too many carbohydrates, and then before they know it, they're being sick. So what kind of effort are you running the Dukeries at for that all to be okay? You conversation pace?
Yeah, conversation pace the whole way. It wasn't really flapping around at checkpoints and panicking that I needed to keep going and to keep the pace up or anything. It's quite a comfortable pace.
Did you have any competition?
Not really. I think second place was probably 40 minutes behind, maybe 30 minutes.
Do you listen to anything when you're running?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie and pretend I'm one of those people where I have to take in nature. I have to have my
don't
headphones
worry, I'm
in.
not either. I want my headphones in as loud as I
don't
go.
want to be alone with my own thoughts for that long.
Never.
So now I'm a big Hans Zimmer fan, so I'll definitely have a bit of like Hans Zimmer or something.
I love a bit of Hans Zimmer. Share me your playlist, will you?
Yeah, no, I can do.
I've never met anyone else that listens to Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, it was quite random.
Like the film kind of cinema stuff, like Lord of the Rings. I'll put on like Howard Shore from the Lord of the Rings stuff, and I'll pretend I'm like an orc going into battle or something.
Do you follow that guy on Instagram that does the good stories when he does that? I think he lives in Chamonix.
I know.
Oh my God, I got to share it with you.
Yeah, let me know what it is.
Brilliant. He's hilarious. Sometimes I have a bit Last of the Mohicans as well.
Oh,
and that's another good one.
That's on my playlist. I listened to that in the car earlier, actually.
Daniel Day-Lewis is just running next to me. I will find you. All right, Daniel, just let me finish this race and then we can
mess with
chat.
my adrenaline. I'd be getting too psyched up.
So you can notice the pace change as it builds up. Like, so if you listen to Interstellar and it's the docking scene where they're just about to board, your pace does increase.
I'm going to have to try this.
Yeah. Subconsciously,
maybe not inside it.
No.
Fantastic. I'm curious if somebody's thinking about doing the Dukeries 40 from a competitor's point of view. Is it like waymarked? Is there any nav issues? Are there checkpoints? You probably wouldn't have dipped into the checkpoints, done any cheese and pickle sandwich and that kind of stuff. But yeah, for everybody else.
So it's like a perfect race for a beginner, if I'm being honest, or someone who wants to do what I've just done in terms of trial and nutrition, or if someone wants to run a PB. Some really nice trails. You go past the Major Oak, which is the old Robin Hood tail tree. You go around Shield Forest. It's really well marked. Yeah, all the aid stations have got everything you need.
What's the race company that run it?
That's Hobo Events, so it's Ronnie Staten. Probably know Ronnie.
Give him a shout out. Yeah, I know Ronnie. I love Ronnie.
On the start line, though, yes, you have got the ultra distance champs, and it was a training run, but yes, you got the course record. Was that in your sights too?
It was, and to be honest, I almost made a mistake where I looked online at the course record, saw it was 5 hours 20. So I put down on my spreadsheet, I've got a spreadsheet for like crew points. I gave that to my crew, and also Kate Parker from Harry was meeting me at through checkpoints. I had ETAs on there, and I worked them out to come about 10 minutes under the course record of 5 hours 20. But apparently there's two course records, a summer and just normal.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And the normal one was 4 hour 45. And I didn't realize that until I got to finish line and finished in 4 hours 28.
Oh my goodness!
It says, well done. You've beat the course record by 15 minutes. I was thinking 15 or so it's more than 15
Excuse me, I've
minutes.
done much better than that.
Yeah, I didn't say that, but I was thinking, okay, yeah, thanks. But then I checked on my phone going, what have I done here? And it was like, there's two course records. So I could have made a bit of a mistake there, but thankfully,
being an overachiever, being a Marine,
I sped up a bit.
Yes.
I completely threw the crew off as well because they just started.
They must have been
the
driving in
ETAs.
their cars, absolutely sweating, going, "Oh my God, I'm going to miss him." You mentioned Kate from Harrier there. Were you wearing some of their new pro? Now let me get this right. Pro Trail team, is that what they're called? What's the kit called?
I think it's the Harrier Pro Trail team, and they've got a new line of Pro Trail kit coming out later this year, I believe. We've had a few prototypes for that. On the race day for the Dukeries 40, I was wearing the Baslow waist belt, which I quite like for training and the faster stuff. I figured out I got something like 15 gels and a water bottle in there.
It's quite big, isn't it?
And it doesn't bounce around or anything, so that was pretty nice. And I don't like wearing a race vest if I don't have to. I quite like the waist, the belt. So I just wore that, and the kit list was a mobile phone, 2 water bottles. I think Ronnie said the main rule was don't be a dick. And that was it. The mandatory kit and rules, pretty much.
Fantastic.
It was a really good event. But yeah, no, just the waist belt.
If it was horrible weather, would that completely transform the course into like a mud fest?
Yeah, especially the Dukeries course. That's the first time I've done it with dry feet. Yeah, it's just completely different. But it's very much so runnable. Nice course, especially for a beginner.
You wouldn't be wearing the Adidas if it was rainy day.
No. He would. I think he'd wear. Now he's worn it once. You can't run anything else when you've worn that. So you've got like 2 weeks, 3 weeks to the Ridgeway now.
2 weeks Saturday, yeah.
2 weeks Saturday. What's happening in those 2 weeks? Do you have a coach, Callum, or do you just do your own plan?
I'm coached through the running club, where my Tuesday sessions, our speed sessions, are coached, and then Saturdays, I normally do a long session with the lads on a Saturday, Sunday, where they're training for marathons most of the time. So we'll maybe go out and do a 20 miler, let's say 10 miles hard in between. So those two sessions are always dictated for me normally by coaches of the club and the lads. And then on a Thursday or a Friday, I'd do like a hard treadmill session. And the rest of the week is just jump miles. So I normally just maintain that and manage that myself. Being part of the running club for me is really picked up my fitness. And I feel like it does carry across the trails and hills quite a bit if you've got that baseline fitness, but I do still, like yesterday was our training session, track session in the evening, but in the morning, because it was my hard day, I did 5 by 5 minutes on a treadmill, like 15% incline. I have to make a conscious effort to either travel somewhere to get a hill or just go on the treadmill.
What kind of volume, though, mileage-wise, would you be doing per week?
Ideally, it's between 80 and 95 a week with a few hours strength training. Ideally, I'd like it a little bit more, but studying, working full time, and just life, it's difficult.
You've got to have a bit of energy left over, because I often think that too. It's like, I could do more. There's a slot there I could fit. And then I'm like, look, you're already on your threaders at the end of the day when you've got kids as well. You don't want them. Yeah, you don't want them always to go, but you're always so tired, Mum. You're always so tired.
My little boy's to a point now where he's 5, he can cycle quite well. I made a conscious effort to get him good at cycling, so I could take him to a local
training early. Yeah,
we've got a local tarmac track where people just go and let the kids run wild. It's not a proper track. I'll take him there, and he'll just cycle next to me for like a couple of miles. So it's a good way of getting it in.
I love that.
Yeah, I had a running pram for a lot of my early years. That might be something you want to invest in.
Yeah, I've got one. So I've got another one. We're expecting another one in August, a little boy. So that's ready.
That is
ready for that.
Bike, Saturday, bike, one on the bike, one in the pram.
I'm pretty good at trying to sell it to the missus that I'm just going to give you a break. So I'm going to take the pram out with the little one. Really, so I could get another run in.
Yeah, get the dog as well. Take the dog too.
It's for me.
Just get Hans Zimmer on the old earbuds. Can't let her hear anything. Kids screaming. You'll just be like, woo doo doo doo. So after Ridgeway, what's next? Is that a selection race for world champs?
It's not. This is the ultra distance. I think the selection race is the middle distance.
It's the middle distance.
A few weeks after. In Wales, which I'd like to do and try, but
I was going to say,
I don't live close enough to any decent hills to facilitate that kind of training and level at the moment.
Oh, it's the 14 peaks. Is that mega? Yeah, I was going to go, you could go, and then
I don't think my treadmill will suffice for that in a minute.
That is a spicy. I wonder where the world champs is. Oh, it's in Canfranc, because that's a really spicy race to be the trials.
Yeah.
You're looking at fell runners winning that race rather than a trail runner.
Yeah, definitely.
After Ridgeway, have you got anything else for the rest of this year?
I do. I'm trying to think. I did have a race across Scotland, which is a 215 miler.
I'm doing it.
The little ones. You're doing it?
Oh, I'm doing it, yeah.
Are you? Okay.
Come up. We can have Hans Zimmer on the speaker.
So I did have that planned. Because we've got a little one due in August.
It's not your time. It's not your time.
Yeah.
As much, Callum, as I'd love to follow your dust for about 100 metres.
Yeah, I've got to defer it, basically. That's just reminding me to defer it, actually. I'll do after this. But I'm also looking at doing the Race to the Stones in July, I think it is. I know they've got an incentive out for someone to do the course record of £1,000. I'll try it.
Is it achievable? Have you checked it out?
I think it's achievable, but whether I can do it or not, we'll see on the day. I'm a big believer of just trying, going big and trying. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
What about long-term goals? We hear quite often people get on the UTMB affiliated events so they can get in the podium, then they'll ultimately end up at UTMB. Is that kind of the pathway you'd like to go to?
So next year I want to be doing some more of the bigger style events, and then I'd like to do TGC next year in Gran Canaria, and also maybe one of the UTMB events. I've seen a lot of progression in the last 2 years since leaving the Marines and since joining a running club. Progression's gone up quite a bit and improved. So I'm still pretty new, to be fair to this kind of level. And I'm just enjoying training and doing what I am at the minute. But yeah, I do want to do some of those European events soon.
How's your body? You mentioned about your back and having to manage that, but quite often you have a progression in performance, and sometimes the old creaky bones don't match the lungs. And yes, quite often, for me personally at least, and quite a lot of our listeners, we hear that the body breaks down.
No issues so far. I'm from quite an endurance.
Sorry, Gary. Gary, you were like, tell me you got rusty old bones like me. Callum's half your age, Gary.
Yeah.
Meniscus tear.
I'm from quite an endurance background in the Marines. I've always had done endurance stuff. And naturally, as the weight's dropping off, I'm transitioning from, instead of doing loads of gym work and trying to deadlifting 200 kilograms and doing more running, I'm seeing quite good improvements. I think a big part of that is the running club and the speed and the actual structured training from that.
Wait till they see you in your new Adidas trainers. You're going to blast them all. You're just going to be going, we're on the trails today, guys. Let's get off this tarmac.
I think you could do a smoking fast road marathon in those Adidas.
I've got Valencia. I've got a marathon debut at the end of this year at Valencia, so that should be good. Oh,
it's incredible. That is probably my favourite destination for a marathon. I did it in, 3 years ago?
Not long ago. Was it 3? 2,
possibly 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, you'll have a blast. Long streets, orange trees, lovely bit of December sunshine, great food. Valencia itself is a wonderful place to spend. We just for a long weekend. Yeah, you'll have an incredible
looking forward to Valencia. I've told the lads that I'm committing a good few months. We're all going to do a decent marathon block together.
Yeah,
but I'm yet to tell them that I'm probably going to sign up to the Autumn 100, the Centurion event. So I'm going to look at doing that in October, but I've not told them that yet. So I'm not sure how that's going to help.
As well, when she's going to say you're not going out again.
No, I've not told her either. I'm pretty good at just booking stuff off winging it and telling people a few weeks before.
Oh, I mentioned it.
I just sneak it onto the calendar. Once it's on the calendar, Callum, you can deny all the fact that you've never had the actual conversation. You just gaslight them and pretend it's happened.
Yeah, no.
Best of luck.
So yeah, Race to the Stones, Autumn 100, and then Valencia Marathon.
Busy. Awesome.
And a newborn as well.
Second one's much easier.
Thanks.
Do you think so? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I think so.
The logistics,
the logistics are a bit of a change, aren't they? But the actual having the baby, you know what you're doing. But hopefully. Yeah, having two suddenly, hopefully.
Quick 5 time. This could make or break the interview, actually, Callum. Are your dogs allowed on the furniture?
Yes.
Even upstairs furniture?
Oh, yeah, they do whatever they want. We'll go through phases where we'll say, we're not having the missus will say, right, I've cleaned everything, or we've got a new sofa. The dogs aren't coming up. It lasts about an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had the new sofa chat. Most used bit of Harrier kit? It
would be the Baslow waist belt, just because I use it in training so much.
That is a good bit of kit. I'm trying to think I use the Kuba 5-litre vest. That is my go-to vest. Yeah, I seem to get all my poo bags in, my 2 bottles, all my bits and bobs. Yes, this is the first time we've done this. A few weeks ago, we started workout of the week. We thought it would be a lot of fun if we put that responsibility over to you, Callum. What workout do you think our listeners should do this week?
I've got a good one for just training physically, mentally for long distance events. It's good to train more physically, mentally when your legs are very fatigued, similar to the end of like an ultra, where your legs are knackered and you just got to push through. But you can't always simulate that in training without doing a 4 to 10 hour run. Yeah. But I figured out a good way of getting a similar kind of response physically, mentally from your legs and yourself is doing like a heavy leg session straight into a run.
Yes.
That's something I like to do a lot. So an easiest way of doing it, I found, is 10 to 20 minutes of lunges, walking lunges around a field, 10 to 20 minutes, and then just go for like a 40-minute run. Doesn't have to be an extreme run, but I can assure you your legs will feel similar to how they feel towards the end of a long distance event.
I love it.
I used to do, when I lived in the mountains, I used to have to run down the hill to the gym, which was lovely. I flew down the hill, and then I used to do my deadlifts, and then that run back up, it had 1,000 feet, about 1,000 feet back up the hill over about 5K. And then as I was doing it, And I started thinking, this is exactly like how your legs, they're absolutely trashed.
Yeah.
And I'm having to make them move and they feel horrible. But also that initial getting them moving. And then once you start moving, you're like, oh, actually I can move them.
Yeah.
It's like almost switching the brain on to go, yeah, they do feel trashed, but you can keep moving them as well.
It reminds me like at the end of an event, like a long distance one where they don't feel great, but you can just still keep going. So it's a good way of doing it, I think, rather than actually trashing your legs and risking injury.
I love the lunges. All of the exercise that I do down the gym, when I'm doing a lunge, it really feels like I'm not running up a hill, but maybe like a scramble up a steep hill. You're just incorporating that different muscle group. So yeah.
You can't hide from a lunge.
No.
A lunge or a step up. They're the two where you're like, oh.
Right, you're going to have to bear with me with this next question. Are you familiar with The Matrix, the film The Matrix?
Yeah.
All right then. So Morpheus from The Matrix, he's running beside you at the Champs in a couple of weeks, and he offers you a red pill or a blue pill. Which one are you going for?
I'm trying to remember the film now. The red pill is it to enter what?
Yeah, I've got this on Wikipedia. Okay, so the red pill and the blue pill are metaphorical terms representing a choice between learning an unsettling or life-changing truth by taking the red pill or remaining in the unquestioned experience of an illusion appearing as the ordinary reality with the blue pill. So yeah, you could support Sunderland and take the red pill, or support Newcastle and take the blue pill.
I'm a Forest fan, so I'll take the red pill.
So you get to see Agent Smith. He would come and knocking on your door. Mr. Anderson. Excellent.
I don't understand a word of that.
I'll just pretend I'm Neo and I'll take the red pill.
Well, yeah, would you just like the status quo, Eddie, or maybe there's something higher occurring than what your reality is?
I'm going to higher occurring because I feel I live on a higher occurrence than most people.
Red pill for Eddie. Okay, every week we share the podcast over on Instagram. We need a song for our Instagram story post, Callum.
I think it's got to be Hans Zimmer now that we've done enough talking about Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer.
Just what to choose. Do you want an actual which piece?
Yes.
Cornfield Chase.
Oh, classic.
Yeah.
Totes classic. This afternoon when I go running, I'm going to put that on. I'm going to think of you.
I'm going to put it on in a minute.
Gary's a bit sad because he wanted you to say Taylor Swift.
I do like Taylor Swift.
He'd already noted it down. He's like, he's going to say Taylor Swift.
I've got no shame. I used to, when I was in the Marines, I used to have a Taylor Swift poster up, but it's not something you expect a Marine to have on the wall. But I wouldn't hide it.
Did you go to see her on tour?
No, but the missus has seen her on tour and she reminds me a lot.
It's supposed to be incredible. I miss the treat.
She's got great legs. I reckon she'd be a good ultra runner. She looks strong as well. Yeah. And imagine you'd just be like, you'd be a bit sad going up a climb. You'd be like, Taylor, give us a bit of Romeo and Juliet. Let's go. Let's hit it.
Just have to shake it off after.
She'd be like, I'm not doing that one. I'm a bit out of breath.
Yeah.
Callum, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Really nice to get to know the person behind the smoking fast times. Best of luck. We'll say best of luck with the new addition to the family first, because that's the most important thing this year. Yeah. But with the rest of the year as well, keep us posted. And maybe when you're the long distance British trail champion of the world, you come back on and tell us all about it as well.
No, thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Callum. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Harrier Trail Running, for sponsoring our Strava Club and the Tales from the Trail section. Harrier is the UK's fastest growing brand for trail runners, providing specialist kit designed for superior fit, comfort and function with the best customer support. Check them out for race vests, waterproofs, poles and other trail essentials at www.harrierrunfree.co.uk, where you can also download your free copy of How to Run an Ultra Guide. Use the code T10 for 10% off site-wide, or check out their brilliant trail bundles for a special 20% off. This is a heavy flex top 10 at UTS. Awesome to see previous guest of the show and Harrier Pro Trail team member Sam Skinner blaze his way through the Welsh mountains. That is an incredible result. Well done, Sam. First up in the Strava Club is Jenny Hartley. Now, Jenny has been on the podcast before. She ran a total of 74 miles for the week with the longest run of 23.4 miles and total vert of 17,000 15,854 feet. She's been having a blast in the Lake District. If you remember in our Facebook group, she reached out for some ideas for runs while she's over in the lakes. And yeah, she's such a pro. It needed a cafe stop as part of those runs. Yeah, incredible week, Jenny. Stuart McNichol next up, 95.2 for the week with the longest run of 31.6 and total vert 15,636 feet. 2 monster days on the trails, and I'm pretty sure Stuart must be doing one of the spine races looking at his Strava details. Also a Bob Graham leg 3. Weighted runs, some strength, a sensational week, Stuart. That is absolutely incredible. Last up, Martin Lambourne, 119.9 miles for the week. I'd have had some OCD. I think I'd have rounded that up to 120, but incredible, Martin, with a longest run of 106.8. Look at that. That is eye-watering numbers. Total vert of 34,544 feet. Martin has a request to follow, but after a little bit of research, it didn't take much for me to find out. Martin completed the UTS 100 miler at the weekend, the heaviest of flexes there. Well done, Martin. And kudos to all our Strava Club members and whatever you've been up to over the week. Love seeing all those stats.
UTS on your bucket list? You never mentioned that, Gary. I could see you over there.
Yeah, I think it is probably the ultimate challenge from the mountain running in the UK at the moment. But whether I have the energy to do it, and also people do see me on Strava, I do tend to invest in the race I'm doing. I'll recce the route, whether it's Bob Graham round, Old County Tops, Lakeland 100. I will spend a lot of time on that route, and I just don't think I'd have the time to go and spend on that route. So for that reason, although I would love to do it, I don't think I would. I don't know, maybe. What about yourself?
Yeah, exactly the same. I think I would prefer to do it over as like a couple of days. I'd love to do it to see the route.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. Well, definitely I wouldn't be able to be competitive at that 100 miler. It's too, the technical aspect of it is too hard for me, I think. I get frustrated.
Yeah, it would be really slow going. And I'm doing some basic maths. So for argument's sake, 9 hours to do the Old County Tops where I was literally ready to collapse as I went over the line. Multiply that 3, 9, 18, 27. That's 27 hours at that kind of effort. So you're going to be looking at 30 odd hours. Yeah, that's a big deal. And like you say, you wouldn't be really moving. That's the beauty of the Lakeland 100, because you have some climbs, but you also got quite a lot of running on that route too. Yeah, the UTS 100, all of them, actually, the 100k, whatever race you choose to do for the distance, they're all savage as far as the elevation is concerned. Tales from the trails.
Dear Eddie and Gary, in September 2024, I was 4 weeks post a total abdominal hysterectomy, struggling towards the end of a 3-mile walk and feeling that any return to running, let alone getting back to ultra distances, was absolutely beyond me. I was listening to my favourite podcast, brackets, Tea and Trails, obviously, that's lucky, isn't it? When suddenly my spirits lifted as I heard magical words from Gary. Oh, hello, saying on. And this week's Brew from the Coaches question comes from Naomi Amel. Listening to the coach's advice on how to recover from my hysterectomy gave me an instant mood boost, and I started to see how I could plan out my recovery following their insights. A gentle phased approach followed, and by Christmas, I was back up to running 12 miles, enjoying my return to fitness, and had entered the 100-mile West Country Ultra with Albion Running. Fast forward to 10th of May, 2025. It's nearly midnight. I love these sort of stories. And I was alone in the woods on Exmoor, around 70 miles into the West Country 100, feeling sick, feeling sorry for myself, and just wanting the whole thing to be over. I was seriously considering cutting the race short and heading back to Minehead, when yet again I was rescued by my podcast saviours. I was listening to Eddie's Winter Spine episode, for the 4th time, when you talked about a particularly low point in your race and seeing the robin on the trail and feeling this was your grandfather telling you to eat your sandwich. You explained how you started to feel at peace with the journey and reassured that all would be okay. This was such a grounding for me, and I was able to recall and act on some of your words of wisdom, including breathe and believe and progress, not perfection. And those became my mantras over the next 30 miles. I also found comfort in the dark with the owls hooting around me. Owls were my mum's favourite, who sadly passed away in June 2023, and I imagine that she was there in the woods with me, encouraging me to keep going. It always seems like I'm running with friends when I listen to your podcast, but I really feel that you saved my race last weekend and I crossed the finish line in 27 hours and 23 minutes. Incredible. I'm very grateful to you both and the entire Team Trails family and the wonderful community that you've created. I'd also like to thank Albion Running for putting on such a fantastic event and the amazing aid station volunteers who helped me see me through a challenging 100 miles. Looking back to that day last September when I was doubting if I'd ever run again, it seems a lifetime ago. I look forward to continuing the journey and see you at the start line of the Northern Traverse in March next year. Whoop, 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 whoop.
That's
Best
amazing.
wishes, Naomi Arnold. Best wishes right back at you.
Yeah.
God, you did amazing from September, thinking after a hysterectomy, and then by May, you're in the middle of a 100-mile race. That is incredible. Well done. Huge kudos. Heavy flex. Sensational. All the words coming right at you.
Workout of the week. Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. This week's workout of the week, taken inspiration from Callum's workout, which he, if you've just listened to the interview, one of his favorite sessions was doing some weights, or he chose to do lunges around a field and then into a run. I love that idea. I used to do that, as I said. Yeah, the burn was good. But I was a little bit nervous about giving this to people without knowing their history, and I didn't want any ACLs going. So if you want to have a go at that, you have a go at that. But I sort of created something which is a little bit similar in that a little bit of strength and then into a little bit of running. And so you can choose. So the workout of the week this week is what I call hills into smooth. Oh, yeah. So we do a little bit of short, sharp hill work, and then we go into, now, a few people have asked, because I would put this on Facebook, into 15 to 20 minutes steady flow. What is this steady flow running, I hear you say? I kind of think it's like engaging the butt cheeks, a little bit of glute pushing from behind you. So you're moving well. You could have a conversation. You're not like, but you're not running easy. That like difficult bit in between. What's going to make it harder is that we're going to throw some hills in first before that bit of running. I've given a little example of a little hill session that you can do, but you can adapt this to whatever you want. Basically, you want to do about 10 minutes worth of quite hard work, 10, 15 minutes, trash your legs a bit. So these do need to be quite hard. So I've suggested something like 2x60, 4x45, 6x30 seconds, strong up, recover down. Make sure you have a good warm up first. And then as soon as you run back down that 30 seconds and then you go into and I've done 15 to 20 minutes. So whenever I set this for my athletes or I do it myself, I always give myself you can do 15 or you can do 20 depending on how you're feeling. And I run that as a little bit of a progressive run as well. And I know if I've got the session right in that I'm running really strong in that last 5 minutes. And it's a great way to just a little bit of practice of running on tired legs. And I think as well, it's a little bit of a mental thing of you realize that you can run a little bit faster on tired legs than often we think we can. And the first few minutes might feel oh, this feels a bit clanky. And then you sort of get into it. So it's a little bit of mental strength as well as physical strength as well. You can adapt the hills. You can do less hills. You can do more hills. You could do a little bit more running. You can add, I put on the Facebook group as well, you could add 15 minutes of steady running before the hills, then and I do this as well. Sometimes if I'm going to a hill a bit further away, I'll warm up, then I'll go into steady 15 minutes, then I'll do my hills, and then I'll steady run back as well. There's many facets, multiple ways you can do this workout. Have a go. Let us know how it goes. We love your feedback. We love seeing your red, sweaty faces, and hope that if perhaps you need a little bit of I just don't know what to do, hopefully you're enjoying these workouts as well. And we will ask our guests now for their favourite workout, and we'll try and incorporate them into workout of the week as well.
I found your podcast in the last year and so glad I have. This year I've started a challenge of running 50 marathons throughout 2025. Oh, the mental load of getting up to do a marathon pretty much every week. That is tough. Kudos. I look forward to your podcast and find it inspiring and motivating during the tough moments of my marathons. I particularly enjoyed Helen Riva's episode talking about her half marathon streak. I could really resonate with her. I'm currently on marathon number 16 and I'm running 50 marathons as I'm 50 this year and raising funds for Dementia UK and Ruben's retreat. Keep up the good work. Thank you. You keep up the great work, Claire. That is sensational challenge and for 2 sensational causes there. Yeah, heavy flex. That review comes from Claire Calladine. Incredible. We love your Tales from the Trails reviews, heavy flexes. Please keep them coming. Pop over to Spotify and Apple Podcast for reviews and email your heavy flexes and Tales from the Trails to hello@teaandtrails.com.
Thank you, Protein Rebel, for bringing us home. Gentle on your stomach, driving your performance. My God, did I have to hammer that protein last week. Whether you're trying to get a PB, training for your first marathon, or completing your 10th Ultra, Protein Rebel products are easy to digest with no artificial additives, providing both performance and overall health benefits. First ever Protein Rebel Festival's coming up 5th of July in Cheshire. There'll be a 10K trail run. Inspirational speakers, including my pal, Laura Swanton Revellon, Ben Bungle Taylor. Who the hell's that? Is that the guy from Rainbow when we were kids? Rhino Boy Chris, I can guess what Rhino Boy Chris is, and much more. Oh, I love a new speaker. There's also a 2.5K 5 run, mini athletics for the kids, on-site cafe, a massage tent, and much more. Sounds ace. Competition time. We love ending the podcast with a competition. The awesome team at Summits are providing this month's prizes to be in with a chance. Here's what you need to do. We'll also add a Tea and Trail hoodie to the prize pot. Hop over to Instagram, like this post, share the post to your stories, follow at Tea and Trails at Summits UK, and in the comments, mention what would be your bucket list mountain to summit. Competition closes, 10 days time, midnight on the 31st of May. Competition is for Instagram only. 2 winners will be contacted by direct message. Gary will slip into your DMs. I mean, that is a prize in itself, isn't it? You're always in my DMs.
What you've all been waiting for. You might have seen Summits caps if you're one of the UTS races over the weekend, because Danny, who owns Summits, he was on those trails too over the weekend. Ooh, what have you got coming up? Sounds exciting.
Ooh, so exciting, but also so much to organise.
Yeah.
I'm popping away. I'm going to my hollybobs. If you call 100 miles a hollybobs, that's what I'm doing. Running the West Highland Way over 3 days with my Scottish pals. Pour them. It's sad times though, Gary, because the weather looks pretty terrible. You know, that's life, isn't it? That's not the worst bit is like whether we'll be able to dry kit out when you're doing multiple days and how wet we'll get. So fingers crossed, one, we might be able to dry our gloves if we need them, and also that the weather gods are kind. Super excited. 3 big days coming up, Gary. 40 miles on the first day.
You're going to get ravaged by the midges as well, aren't you?
I have got my smidge, my midge net. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. So I'm taking this week with a bit of, heat training, Gary, and I did something terrible, but I'm going to share that next week. But it's quite a story. I'm really looking forward to that. But no doubt there'll be some incredible content next week on our adventure, and I just hope I can keep up.
What a blast. What a blast. Sounds great.
What a blast. What are you doing? You're not run yet.
No, I've not run yet, and it is Wednesday. I think I could run today. Maybe I don't think I'm going to run today, but I could. I even saw a reel by Russell that if you're injured, there probably was a tell a couple of weeks ago or something like that. My big takeaway as far as how my body felt after the Old County Tops was my left side of my lower back, where that little fatty deposit is above my buttock. Yeah, it wasn't too happy. And if I ever do have any issues, that is where it manifests first. So I thought I'd just give myself Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We're Wednesday now. I will not run on Wednesday. Planning to go to the Moors on Friday. You know, we are absolutely loving the Moors at the moment. It's a pretty low bar mental load to drive down there and get some lovely trails. But on the Sunday, I had 11 out of 10 DOMs. Incredible. And I loved it. Stairs backwards, anything like that. In fact, I had to go upstairs because currently we're still having the kitchen done. So when you make a cup of tea, you think, oh, I forgot the teaspoon that's upstairs. Oh, I've not filled the kettle up. That tap's
is
upstairs.
horrendous.
To make a cup of tea is quite. If you forget all your items in the first trip, it's a bit of a challenge.
Can I tell you the worst DOMs I've ever had? When the kids were, I didn't have Evie, so I just had the two boys, and they must have been. I did the South Downs Way 50, and they must have been like 3 and 2. Maybe a little bit later. No, Roy must have been younger because he couldn't come down the stairs, and I couldn't carry him and come down the stairs. Bryn had gone to work. So I sat him on a tray, and I guided him, sat on my bum, and pulled him down the stairs with him on his tray.
They loved it.
Because you also, when you've got little kids as well, you need the nappies and the wipes and the clothes and stuff. And I couldn't carry everything and get down the stairs and bring the baby. So I just used this tray system, which, I mean, if you're a parent of young children, it worked. It would, but
sounds like Wallace and Gromit.
Being the worst. Isn't it funny how some races, whatever the dehydration, the heat, the climbing, they give you the worst DOMs?
They're okay now, but yes, Sunday, Monday. I probably
so was
could
it
have
when you
run
had to sit on the
Monday.
loo? Were you like?
Oh yeah, sad times.
Oh, that's not sad times. That's the best.
Well, yeah, I really felt I'd earned it. We've always said, I've said for a long time, I wanted to kind of put everything in, or as much as possible into this race. So yeah, I earned those DOMs. I can't complain about that. So super easy week, lots of walk. Rexy, spoiled, he's having some great dog walks. He's enjoying that. Lots of mobility. I'm foam rolling the life out of my lower back at the moment, getting all those things moving, and all the food too, catching up with the food. Because yeah, like I said, even though I was famished, I just couldn't face really eating much afterwards. That was my super strength, Eddie. I could finish a race and stagger into the food tent and just work my way around the cakes and the tuna sandwiches. I did manage a few tuna sandwiches, and Robbo was plying me with sugary tea afterwards, but not my usual performance. And I think that really damaged me. I couldn't face it. I had a big protein shake, and I was like, I just can't face it. So yeah, hopefully trip to the Moors, and we are going to be watching Sunderland are in the playoff finals.
What's the playoff finals? Quick.
So Sunderland are playing Sheffield
be on
United.
our television.
If you win that match, you go into the Premier League.
When that's on our television, I'm going to go, well, this is a big match, isn't it, boys? They'll be like, Mum, yeah, God, who's going to go into the Premier League?
I'm even tempted to go and buy a Sunderland top. I'm literally on the bandwagon. We'll see. George and I.
Do it. Get you and George matching tops.
I was checking out the sizes. I can probably buy the kids' top, the XXL child's top. When you're a child, you can't have gambling advertisements on your kit.
Oh, so I didn't know this.
I'd have a different sponsor, so everyone would know that I'm wearing a kid's top.
Yeah, you're a cheapskate and slightly strange.
I just hope I'm not crying.
Is that on Sunday? Is that on Sunday?
Ooh, I think it's Sunday. Better check that out. I don't want to get into it.
Well, just so that I can be like, I can't do that because I'm watching the match, boys.
Watching the match. They're all Sunderland and Sheffield are red and white.
Way.
I wonder who's going to get the chance to wear the home top, because both Sunderland and Sheffield United are red and white stripes, so it'll be interesting.
Thanks for tuning in. We love you. I think we broke a record this morning. Nobody will know, Gary, apart from you and me. I think that is the earliest we have ever recorded the podcast.
I think you're correct, yeah.
Did you do your tongue and mouth warm-ups before? Ba, 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 ba. We were electrifying from the start. I would think people would think just we did a normal, incredible. I did brush my teeth before because I thought just in case.
I had a shower before we got in.
No. I made beds because I thought
Lisa was thinking, what the hell are you doing?
Were you rushing around, and you were washing? Yeah. That's great. I'm so pleased you did. So fresh. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We love you all for listening. If you're running along, keep on running. If you're in your car, keep on driving. If you're doing the housework, stop doing that. That's ridiculous. Get yourself a cuppa and sit down and watch some. What am I watching, Gary? What's it called? Married at First Sight, Australia.
Oh, dreadful.
Oh, it's dreadful. I can watch about 20 minutes while I have my lunch break.
I'm saying it's dreadful. Sometimes I watch these reality programs and they are the worst of people. I don't know what the vibe is, Marriage at First Sight.
It is the worst of people, and it's the production team in the back. Must be the production team in the background going.
I think that would race across this world. I'm sure, because they all make spectacularly different decisions, and I'm sure the production team would saying to them.
Well, I heard on the rest of entertainment is that they do have a production team with them, but they're not allowed to say anything, so they don't say anything. But they're all how much do we buy into it anyway? it's mindless travel, isn't it? And as long as you realise that it's not real. And
Are you watching Race Across the World? I get super emotional.
Do you?
Lisa's like
No.
really cynical. Oh God, I'm so exhausted of these people. I'm there like wiping the tears off my eyes.
Oh, I don't get to watch. And so if I don't watch a little thing, because I always give myself a lunch break, if I don't watch anything in that little lunch break, which I don't always do, then by the time we finish evening activities, do you know what gets put on our television, Gary? Guess what gets put on for sort of half an hour? If it's not live football, then it's
Like some kind of
Best.
YouTube. Okay.
Tottenham's best. I just need to catch up on Tottenham's best highlights of
Incredible.
And they are cute. The kids are cute. They're always like, "Mum, come and sit down. You can watch." But
How Tottenham doing though? They're not doing great, are they? Sad times in your house.
We don't. But what I love is that he continues to support and love them. But he'll like watch half a match now, and then I'll see him outside kicking the football, and he'll be like, "I'm not watching anymore. I can't watch any more of this, Mum. I know the reality of it." Oh God, we've talked way too much about football. But I've been digressing. Anyway, if you're still with us, pop over to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, subscribe, or even consider becoming one of our awesome patrons. Thank you to X Miles, Precision Fuel Hydration, Phoenix Light UK, Harrier Trail Running, Protein Rebel, and Shocks for sponsoring this week's show. Here's some discount codes if you've got a pen with you. T10 2025 for Shocks, T15 for Protein Rebel, T-Time 2025 for Precision Fuel Hydration, and T10 for Harrier Trail Running. Thank you to our partners and our patrons. We couldn't do this without you and your ongoing support.
Good luck to everybody out on the trails. I saw it's Grand Union Canal race this weekend. Oh, that is a bucket list race.
I think we'd do better at that than UTS.
Be up for a lot quicker. Yeah, that absolutely sounds and looks incredible. Also, the Durafell race, another one. South Downs 150k, all the 100k too. So much going on. Whatever you are up to, have a blast and good luck to Sunderland.
Oh God, here we
finals
go.
this weekend, and safe travels. You know, there is Sunderland and Sheffield United fans making the way down south. Yes, safe journeys to everybody out there. Let the trail rise to meet you, and the wind always be on your back. Be kind to your future self. Breathe and believe. Progress, not perfection. Control the controllables. Also, if you're in the trenches, your race might have fallen to pieces. Don't worry about the past. It's what you do next that counts. My name is Gary Thwaites.
That's blown my mind. That has blown my mind.
I heard it somewhere. I didn't make that up.
I love it though. I'm Eddie Sutton.
And that was episode 122 of the Tea and Trails podcast.